I am always wondering, am I still a girl or mother? She said when I met her for the first time, she's Susila, mother of 2-year-old boy. She's one of those 39,000 girls are forced to get married when they are still a child. It means they lose their future. They stop education. They lose their hope for living. And many of us are exposed to rape and domestic violence. This is not a life. It has to change. Girls are girls, not wives, and it can be changed. The reason why I'm fighting for justice, for women's right, has a story behind itself. It goes back to that night when I was 9 years old, afraid kid, hiding myself behind the tree outside of my house at night. And my mom was severely beaten by my dad, lying on the floor unconsciously. Reason, she had given only girls, not son. I had thousands of feelings and thoughts coming in my mind as an afraid kid, spending all the night in the darkness and in the coldness and wondering, why is this? Why both we are suffering? Being a girl is not my fault, and not either my mom's giving birth to the girls. I committed myself that night. I am going to do something to show my dad that he is wrong. One day, he will be proud for having girls. I got a cause for living that day. And I got a scholarship, and I continue my study. I was focused on my education. But this story doesn't stop here. When I was in 10th grade, 15 years old girl, coming to home and seeing my dad and entire of my family planning about my weddings. And at that time, I was going to be a child bride. I was afraid of living the same life like my mom was living. I didn't want to kill my dream and let them to take my life away. I wanted to save my life. I requested, they didn't listen. I had to save my life. I had only that night. And I came with an idea, and I went with them. No, I can't get this marriage. Because you all know I have been getting a scholarship. If I do this marriage, then you have to pay all the money back to my organization. So at that moment, I was strong. But I just tricked them. There was no contract written anywhere. And I survived my life. And they said, okay, we are going to wait until you finish your contract. Thanks God, I got some more years. Another more challenges came to my life. In the age of 16, 2011, my dad himself did second marriage, and he left us with his second wife. He left my 5 younger girls, sister, and my 1 pregnant mom. I was the one fulfilling all the basic needs of the family. Filling the plates of family was the first priority. Then the education. I stopped school. And me and my small sister, we started to work like a construction worker. Breaking the stone and selling the firewoods was the only way for living. Only way for surviving. But I still had a dream somewhere inside. I was desperate. Why is this? When we are going to get out of this life? But in a way, I found myself, I was the one who was taking care of the family. I was replacing my dad. We didn't die, even he left us to die. And I felt I am empowered. All the sorrow I had, all the pain, all the guilt I had, I burned them away. I threw them away. And I realized, no, I should be proud being a girl. Yes, I am a girl, and I'm proud enough that I replaced my dad in that condition in the age of 16. But still, I had to help other kids like me in the community. I wanted to help the girl like Nirmala. She was forced to get married in the age of 15. She was not as lucky as I was. She couldn't save her life. She was forced to get married and then having the terrible life I was afraid from. After some years, being beaten every single day, there is no way to go, neither back to her parents' home or to this terrible family to let them to kill again. Now she's living all by herself in a small house, which is, only few meters away from the stream. The last year there was flooding, and this year can be flooding again. She's living in a danger zone with this child. How is it possible? Suffering two children at the same time. Mother child and a baby child. They are facing every single challenges together. This is not fair. Where have we been? Where is the society now? There is no one going there to support her. There is no humanity left. I have to do something for them. And I took a very small first step, gathering people to speak, gathering people to encourage them to talk about our needs, our challenges, and what is the solution. Just a year later, we got a project of funding for the Samvad from Stroma Foundation, which was organized by Khirak, Nepal. And they gave us 1-year project, and I was able to work with 25 other marginalized girls in my community. We discussed for 2 hours. Samvad means dialogue. Dialogue means we talk. When we talk, there is always reason behind. We talk about our problems. We find the solution together. What is the root of cause? And where is the solution? Who are the people can help us? Where is the link to find? So we work together as a unity, and we have a common goal, a common voice that can make people to think about, to listen about. And then the year later, because it was just a year program, I was supposed to close, but I couldn't. I saw the changes in girls. They were slowly moving on, and the community were a bit away, but not completely changed. So 1 year was too little to make a difference. And then we got a small support from Blink Now to build this house. And this is our own place where we can talk freely. And also we can have some more programs. Why don't we start to teach from children? Because they are the future of tomorrow. And I saw many of the children were playing on the mud on the street. They were not motivated to go to school regularly. They need someone who could put them in the right track. And then I started to gather 46 children in my community. We play with them, we sing with them, we encourage them to take participant, to be socialized. And the most important thing is to teach them to go to school regular. Because education is the only one key for the development. And the other things, to teach them, there is no gender discrimination. Girls and boys, we have different gifts from the God. And we have to love each other and respect each other. That's what we teach them. And then another possibility, from the 25 girls, we turned into 45 girls, even more, to talk about human rights, to talk about child marriage, to talk about girls trafficking, to talk about domestic violence, to talk about poverty, to talk about importance of education, to talk about our health, to talk about the opportunities, to talk about the resources, to talk about the people who can help us. This is the place where we talk, where we discuss. And then we realize the sense of need to talk to our guardians with mom and dad. Why don't we try from mothers? In 2014, we organized one group of women. They are mothers of the girls and the children in the same community, to teach a mother to break the silence, to raise her voice up when her daughter is going to get the same problem as she does. And of course, no mother wants to see her daughter having the same problem and suffering from the same life. No one wants. We have to convince our community members. We need to change their mindset, the way of looking at girl and way of looking at boy, because in the Nepalese community, boys are much more valuable than girl. So we should teach them. And what we do from the Sambat, we play drama, we go to the community, we meet hundreds of audience, and we want to give our message out that we should stop child marriages. We also teach them about child marriage consequences. And that helps, and many, many audience, they want to help us and support us. Our future is in our hands. We all can be different. And I believe if we teach our children, are the next generation, if we are facing some problem this time, why don't we give them some solution that they can have a better life than us? And one more good example, if we start from our own community, of course we will impact on our own community, but also the message will go out. So this is the group of visitors from Bardia, which is 4 hours by driving from our community. They came to visit, they came to learn. And my last desire came true. My dad came back to home, and he saw the changes. He saw that we were not dying anymore without him. And he saw, oh, my girls are in power. And now he calls me, I am proud of you, my son. So this is the journey, just the beginning of my fight for the justice. A girl from marginalized background was able to contribute this much, but it will going, it's just the beginning. I want to encourage those sisters who are facing the same problem as I. You are beautiful. You have to raise your voice, because voice has impact to make people to think and to change. So be your hero, and don't let anyone to destroy your life. Before I leave this stage, I wanna leave an appeal for those who are concerning about rights. Please start from your own community. And for those who are suffering, nobody will hear you until you cry. So break the silence, cry out. Thank you.